Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about being confident and mysterious attracts. So let's first talk about confidence and then we'll get into the more mysterious side of things and how you can appear more mysterious in order to re-attract someone or to attract someone. So being confident, especially in terms of dating, right, is being bold. So that means, like you ask someone out if you're interested in them. You're not sort of like pussyfooting around the whole situation. You're not trying to be their friend first. You're putting your intentions very clear onto the table, which can be a very brave thing to do and a bold thing to do because, you're basically putting your head out on the line for rejection, right? Because you never know 100% if you go out and you see someone that you really like and you ask them out, that they're going to be accepting of that because they may already be in a relationship, they may be married, they may just not be attracted to you. Like, you never know, right? And also you're putting on your head on the line to even look a bit creepy, right? But that's one of the things that you got to understand is that whenever you're going out and you're doing cold approaches and you're asking people out, sometimes you are going to look creepy, right? You may not mean to, but it's something that you just can't help but look sometimes, because you can't really control how someone else is going to perceive you. And even if your intentions are honorable, clear, you're not trying to be creepy, but you can't control how someone's going to perceive what you're doing. So there are going to be some people out there that when you cold approach them, they're going to think, oh, you're being a bit creepy, this is too much, right? Because you can't help how other people are going to judge you and see you, right? But a lot of the time, you probably won't be seen as creepy. They'll probably be flattered, or they may even accept your offer to go out with them, right? So you got to allow yourself to be out there, to be bold, to speak your truth, to say when you're attracted to someone, because that is confident, right? Of course, it's one of the really big things about confidence, being able to just go up to someone that you really like, that you think is really good looking, and say, hey, you know what? I think you're absolutely amazing. I'd love to go out with you. What's your number? Especially if it's someone that you don't know. If it's someone that you do know, let's say it's someone that you're at work with or someone that you go to college or school with, then it might be a bit easier because you already know them a little bit. You've got that social proof. But again, like, that's something that a confident person will do. Even if it doesn't mean that you don't feel nerves, because everyone feels nerves when they're asking someone out, because it is sort of like a bit of a situation where you don't really know what's going to happen. And in situations like that, then you need, confidence. But it's something that is really, really attractive, because you are authentically being yourself. And when you're authentically being yourself, you can't help but look more attractive. Okay? So another thing that shows and displays confidence, and that's really attractive, is being decisive and showing leadership qualities. So being decisive in the dating world means, being decisive about where to go out. Because usually what you see with people is when they're chatting to each other online or on dating apps, they'll be arranging to meet up and they'll be like, oh, okay, so where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Which restaurant do you want to go to? Just make a choice. If you know the area and you know a good restaurant that perhaps you've been to already before, you can be like, hey, I know a good restaurant. This is called this. And then you say whatever the restaurant name is. How about we go here? That's being decisive, right? Making those plans. Another thing is with like leadership qualities and stuff, in relationships, when people like together and they're so worried about annoying their partner that they always think, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think we should do? It's the same thing. When you get into a relationship, you must still display those leadership qualities. Like if you're deciding what kind of TV to buy, just make a decision to say like, hey, you know what, I looked at this one, I think it's really good. I think we should buy this one. And if for whatever reason your partner says to you, now I think I prefer this one, then fine, you can go along with that if, of course, it's something that you want as well and it's the kind of TV that you want too. But you should always be displaying these leadership qualities throughout, being decisive, because there's nothing more annoying than, you both just sitting there figuring out what to do, and it's taking ages because none of you want to make a decision because you're too busy being worried that the other person's not going to like it. Just make a choice, just make a decision, right? If they don't want to, most of the time they're just going to be happy to go along with what you've picked, right? But if not, then they will say, and then maybe you'll like what they've picked, and then you can be like, great, let's just do that, or you'll find something else to do. You'll find a compromise, okay? But being decisive and showing those leadership qualities is really, really attractive, okay? So another way to just display your confidence is through your physiology. So this is good when you're dating, and also when you're in a relationship too. And that is, just sitting with your shoulders back, having your shoulders back all the time. Or when you're standing, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Don't be crossing your arms or anything like that. Have your hands by your sides. So you're sort of like showing because basically people that are confident aren't afraid to show their more vulnerable side, because obviously like all of the important human organs are at the front of the body, right? So when people are insecure, they tend to like cover them up, right? So if you want to seem more secure and more confident in yourself, then don't keep your arms by your side, okay? Because you're not afraid, because it's basically showing that you're not afraid to show your most vulnerable parts of yourself, which is usually at the front. That's where all the main organs are. Okay, so just stand up with your shoulders back and with your hands by your side, or just like very gently on your lap. But you shouldn't be carrying over, you shouldn't be crossing your arms or anything like that. Okay, and you should also be facing the person that you're on a date with directly. You shouldn't be like kind of to the side looking down or anything like that. Look them directly in the face. Obviously don't be just staring at them like this, or anything like that. And always look away when it's appropriate, and then look back, so you don't have like constant eye contact, because that sometimes can make you look very, very creepy. Okay, so another thing, I think this is a great display of how you can become more confident, and that is a quote that I've been using a lot recently. So I'm going to obviously say it again, because one of the reasons why I say a lot of my things, a lot of my things that I know over and over again, is because I feel like the more people hear the same things, the more likely is to be ingrained into them. And that's just how, and the reason why I do that is because that's just my learning style personally as well. Like if I want to really cement things and really know things, I have to go over them over and over and over again in order for them to be a part of me, in order for them to be instinctual. So that's one of the reasons why I repeat things, because I know some people may get annoyed about that. But the quote that I'm going to use is by Dale Carnegie. This is a great recipe for courage and for confidence, and that is, inaction breeds doubt and fear, action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy. And that is one of the ways that you can become confident and build courageousness in yourself. To take action on your goals, to take action on things that are really important to you, to get out there and essentially get busy, okay? So let's talk about mysteriousness. Like, why is mysteriousness attractive, right? So one of the things that I want to discuss, one of the points I want to make first on this is, don't be available 24/7 to just chit chat. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people do online. They're just spending hours and hours chatting to someone instead of, making plans so you can actually meet up in person, right? We have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, perhaps even millions of years. I don't know exactly when the first humans, we evolved into what we are now. But the technology that we have now has only been around for the past few decades, right? But we as human beings have been around for ages, for hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of years, and we have always communicated face to face. We've been in tribes, we've been in groups. We haven't been, with this new technology where we're messaging all the time. Like, the best way to get to know someone is in person. I think the next best thing is if you're doing like FaceTime or Skype, where you can actually see someone's face. That's probably the next best thing. But the best thing that you can do is to meet someone in person, to get to know someone in person. Don't get to know them online. And one of the other things about messaging and stuff is that things can easily be miscommunicated. People can read into things that aren't true. Like, let's say, for example, you're not someone who uses a lot of emojis, but the person that you might be talking to that you're interested in may use lots of emojis and think that you're being and acting cold towards them because you don't use emojis, right? There can be lots of miscommunication, and you don't want that, right? So it's best to, and this leads into my next point, is that only use messaging apps to discuss plans to meet up. So then there can be no miscommunication, right? Obviously, if you meet up in person, there can still be a bit of a miscommunication, especially if you're not really great at communicating or they're not good at communicating, and you two are just not you're just not compatible, and sometimes that can happen. But it'll be made much more clear if you actually meet up with them in person. And also, we can also dive into our fantasies when we're talking to someone online, thinking, oh yeah, this person's really great, they're amazing, we have these great conversations, and then you meet up with them in person and you're kind of like, oh, this wasn't exactly how I imagined it to be in my head, and you're disappointed, right? And you spent and invested all this time into someone, and now it's just all gone to it's just not great now, right? Because you've met them and now you're like, oh, actually I don't really like this person, I don't really go off their vibe, I'm not really that attracted to them. Oh, that's a shame. So don't spend time chit-chatting. And if you don't, it makes you look more mysterious, because you're only using your messaging apps and calling them up to meet up, to make those plans, and that makes you look more mysterious, right? So just pretend that you're busy, right? So if they get offended and say, oh, don't you have time to chat, be like, no, I'm sorry, I need to go and do some work, I've got this project that I'm working on, but I can't wait to see you on the day that we're going to meet up. Like, let's say you've already arranged a date, let's say you're meeting up on Saturday, and they're getting angry or upset with you that you don't want to chat for longer online. Just say, look, I'm really busy, I'm really sorry, but I can't wait to see you on Saturday. That's all you need to say. And you can say something else like, I can't wait to give you my full attention, I can focus more on you then, but I'm really busy right now, I've got other things that I need to think about. Okay, so that's a really good response for that sort of thing. If someone gets angry or mad at you that you're not available to chit chat 24/7. Okay. And another thing that you can do, especially when you're dating, is, only message them once or twice a week to arrange that date, right? And don't be messaging them every single day. Leave it a few days before you message them to ask them out on another date, right? And then you start messaging them more when they start messaging you more. So if they start messaging you every day, then of course it's okay to say to them, oh, it's nice to hear from you, I'm doing really well, I hope you're doing good, can't wait to see you. Or maybe you've been on a date with them and they message you back the next day, then you can say, oh, it's great to hear from you, I hope you're doing well, when are you available again to hang out? When they start messaging you more, that's when you can start messaging them more. And that's one of the ways that you can build and make yourself look more mysterious to someone when you're dating. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.